What's going on in our area. It is a rainy night in Kansas City, no question about that. So I thought I'd do a little Facebook Live here and bring you up to speed with what's going on. I'm going to allow a few extra people to kind of join our conversation here. And I've got Colin right over there who's refreshing the Facebook page. So hopefully I can figure out what your questions might be. So fire away with a few of those whenever you get an opportunity. And we'll go ahead and get started here. Wanted to show you, first of all, kind of a series of pictures of what's going on in the city right now. It's just wet pavement everywhere you look. And also, as I was talking about in some of the earlier newscasts, with the temperatures dropping and the dew point temperatures hanging in there, there's a chance that we could pop a little bit of fog, and it looks like we're doing exactly that right now. It's not a thick fog by any means, but at the same time, we may have about 3 or 4 hours of foggy and rainy weather. It's just kind of typical of what I think about when I think of November weather. Cold, really raw and clammy, and well, of course, we have this. And yeah, that fog looks to be a little bit thicker, about 10 block visibility. And it looks like we have quite a few people watching, including Vera, who says hi from New York. Well, we've got a rainy night in Kansas City, that's for sure. Hello, Ruby and Sheila and Tony and all you guys for tuning in. Well, we're going to bring you up to speed here right away with what's going on in the city. Here's just another view. This is I-435 that's crossing. That's I-70 here. The city is back there. But with the fog in the area, you can't see that either. Just keep in mind, if you are going to step out of the house at all this evening, whether you're just running to the grocery store for those last second items for your Thanksgiving meal, or if you're just going to be heading out for the evening just to get away, keep in mind you'll likely need to allow a little extra travel time for that. Wet pavement slows everything down. Oh, by the way, this is our live radar. It's right in Belton or near the Raymore area as well. You can see that the heavier rains now are just north of the Kansas City Metro. I wanted to show you the motion. These individual cells are moving along at about 45 miles an hour, and I do have a track on a line of storms that I've been following all the way through the afternoon hours that's producing severe weather to the southwest near Coffeyville, Independence, and then on the Oklahoma side of the state line as well. The main threat from this is going to be, at least down in Oklahoma, there's a chance for large hail, but the primary threat's going to be strong straight line winds. And notice the counties that are shaded in those warned colors, which is that orange color. That's well to the south of our viewing area, and that's where the strongest dynamics are going to be today. There's still thunder and lightning north of that little area, and that, I think, is what's going to catch our viewing area. So thunder, lightning, at about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, right along the state line area. Most of that will stay south of I-70 the way things appear right now. Here's the latest line. Right now, from where it stands near Independence, that's about 65 miles as the crow flies. And actually now, looks like it may be a little less, down to about 60 miles as the crow flies to get to the state line. That's about an hour and a half from now. You do the math, and yeah, we're right in that 9:30 range. So this is right on track. A little farther north, it may take a little while longer, so 73 miles, that's going to be at least an hour and a half, maybe a little more. So between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, that's when it reaches those state line areas. Now, that doesn't mean that we couldn't hear a rumble of thunder here in the city, just west and southwest of Silver Lake, Kansas, which is just west of Topeka. There's thunder and lightning too. Now, those showers are moving more in a line to reach St. Joe as of last check. And this is a look at that complex of storms. This is moving a little more due north, so actually more in a line instead of St. Joe, maybe more towards Holton. So moving into northeast Kansas. And I wanted to show you this too, because this is a really interesting feature. Look what's going on way out to the west. That's west of Salina. Here's Hayes, west of Concordia. That's all snow that's falling. It's going to be a really wet snow. A lot of that will melt on impact, but at the same time, the temperatures in western Kansas have really begun to cool. And by the way, the front that's bringing that cold air, that gets in here by tomorrow. Here's a closer look now at that line. This is that line that I said I'd put a track on. So that moves into Chanute at about 8:17. That's down in Neosho County. Should be near Parsons at 8:26. And then over towards Columbus, that's in the extreme southeast part of Kansas. That's at about 8:46. So again, if you're familiar with southeast Kansas, and I went to school in Iola, so I am, those areas are all in that southeast Kansas region, basically south of our area. So that's where the strongest of the thunderstorms are going to be heading, staying south of our viewing area. Pick up a couple of questions here, and I'll get back to this Storm Prediction Center graphic. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, says Danielle, and I'd like to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. And oh, by the way, your Thanksgiving forecast is looking much, much better. Mostly sunny skies, high temperatures, upper 50s. I think some areas could make a real charge, a serious charge at 60 degrees. But let's take a look at this, too. As we zoom into our area, I just wanted to show you that the strongest storms indeed are in that really rich pool of dynamics, which is essentially over northern Oklahoma, maybe sneaking across that Kansas state line, but certainly well to the south of our viewing area, which is outlined here by these counties. Damaging wind gusts, about a 5% threat. That works as far north as maybe Warrensburg, Sedalia. Looks like Butler and certainly Clinton could be involved in that as well. So doubtful that these are going to reach severe limits in our viewing area, but again, there is a marginal threat, and that threat is only 5%. So I'd rest pretty easy over that one. Well, here's a look at area temperatures because this says it all too. Kansas City now has dropped a degree to 50, but that tells me that we are still hanging in there. Now, temps will be eventually slipping into the upper 40s, and that's even before the cold front arrives. But that's why I think that we're going to start to see some of this fog get a little bit thicker as those temperatures drop into the upper 40s and then match up a little bit more closely with the dew point temperatures. That's when that fog really starts to settle into place. So rain's coming, thunder and lightning between about 9:30 and maybe 10:30 or 11 o'clock tonight. And then fog, of course, is going to be coming in a little bit after that as well. Let's see. Oh, holy cow. We have all kinds of people that are watching and several questions. Will Odessa get anything? Yeah, I think Odessa picks up some rain. You could hear a rumble in Odessa, but severe weather is not going to be likely with this. And I'm not too excited about anybody picking up a severe weather. Certainly no large hail, maybe pea-sized hail with some of the bigger storms, and some wind gusts I think could easily get up there at about 40, 45 miles an hour. You'll hear that outside, and that could knock a couple of small branches loose, but I'm just not looking at this as anything widespread. Rose is also talking about Thanksgiving Day. No, Andrew, you do not need to put on your bike helmet. Rose says hi from Kansas City, Missouri, and a lot of people wishing everybody a nice, wonderful evening. Michael, hope everything has a blessed Thanksgiving, and yes, I do too. What pie does everyone like for dessert on Turkey Day? I'm a pumpkin pie fan, so mark me down for that one. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up from here. Just wanted to point out one more thing. By the way, I'm going to back this up a little bit and show you the latest on the radar. Temperatures in the 50s here. Strongest thunderstorm stay to the south of us in Oklahoma. And then as this backs up a little bit, we'll pick up the strongest of the thunderstorms. I think I'll leave it right here and talk about it. Right now, just light general rain showers in Kansas City. There's thunder and lightning west of Topeka. Strongest storms are south of Topeka, right along Highway 75 now, south of Topeka, all the way down to the Oklahoma state line. That's going to be pushing off to the east. Heaviest of the weather stays south of U.S. Highway 54. That basically separates Nevada to Fort Scott, to Iola, to Yates Center, and south of that line. To the west, there's still much more rain that works through. And you see where it's snowing now in western Kansas? By the time that feature reaches Kansas City, it should warm to the point where we see a very cold rain in the morning, just scattered showers. It will be light, but it's going to be very cold with temperatures generally by daybreak in the lower 40s. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and be sure to tune in tonight at 10 o'clock. All of this will be updated as I track those storms through our area at 10 o'clock tonight. See you then.